Hello, and welcome to the NickNgoc-E-Talkie Podcast. I'm Nick, and with me is my co-host, Ngoc.
Hello, this is Ngoc. It is a pleasure to be here today.
Very good, very good. That was practice. Alright, so now we're gonna we're gonna intro our segment, which is we're gonna talk about conspiracy theories today. But to go off track, there was a new the Lego holiday set was announced. So I want to show Knock it because it's really cool. It's a firehouse.
Oh.
And so like it has a nice little pond, has like a sled, and has a nice little fire truck. I really like it. Like some years I'm not too big a fan of it, excluding that holiday train that I have in the corner.
Wait, does the snow come with it?
No. Well, the background doesn't, but that's the back of the box. Just the features. But let me go for the close-up. In the actual firehouse, there is like snow on the bottom, and like the snow's coming down a little bit on it, which looks really cool. I like the red firehouse doors; those look pretty cool. And the exterior is pretty pleasing. I know a lot of people probably don't care about Lego, but I do. So
I mean, I would live there if I was a Lego.
there's a little fire station that has a little garage in the back, which that's where the red doors are. There's a nice little Dalmatian that doesn't come in too many sets. There's a little fire pole that you can pose people on. And there's a nice little like scenery with a nice little lamppost. Also, the fun fact, the snowman has a hat. Can you see that from where you are?
We zoom in?
I can't.
Okay.
Let me find it. Here's
Okay, I see it. There we go.
there. The little amount that I can. The that hat was with the penguin for the Lego Batman movie, and and it hasn't been in too many other sets, so that's cool that it comes in this one. The pond is really nice, and it has a little box car type thing. And it has a nice selection of minifigures that has 4 policemen. I was wrong.
I thought those were firefighters.
Man. Or firefighters. Yes, it is a firehouse, so they are firefighters. And then the baby comes with an exclusive print. This is really stupid. I'm almost disappointed that I thought of it. But here we are. Conspiracy theories. No.
Wait, what? Hold on.
What do you think about this, real quick? I want to get your thoughts. How cool do you think this is? I like the little tree, and it has a little fire truck, so you can put it on top.
I mean, maybe if the background came with it, if they had actual snow and whatnot, I'd be impressed.
Just pour out the box, and it's just.
I mean, it's really cool that there's a light break to it. I mean.
Oh yeah, I think that's the fireplace. Is there a fireplace? I could be
where's
mistaken.
that at?
Let's see. Yeah, right back here behind them. There's a close-up picture of that, but I didn't bother to get that. But I may have put it in the actual podcast. I don't know. Editing is kind of a pain. But behind there's a little fireplace.
That hot dog does seem very appetizing.
Yes. They've come in quite a few sets, weirdly. There's a few fire things, a fire hydrant, yeah. Lego.
Ninjago.
Oh no, it's there. It's not in the fireplace, it's there. Oh, it's like a lamp to go above everybody. I mean, that's kind of cool, but I thought it was going to be in the fireplace. They do that quite a bit. Oh. Whatever. Alright, conspiracy theory. So basically, there's this tweet that I found before we started talking. Actually, before we started talking. It's a post from, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's basically saying Australia is fake. Um, Flat Earthers' latest viral conspiracy claims Australia isn't real. And then the Australia Doesn't Exist Facebook group.
How many members?
328. The members of this group believe that Australia does not exist and is a creation of biased media. There is no proof that Australia exists, and recent studies by scientists conclude that this is not even possible. We post memes and news about this country in quotation marks, and just about any other lies they, also in quotation marks, want you to believe. And there's a post. Have you ever been to Australia? Australia is not real. It's a hoax made for us to believe that Britain moved over their criminals to some place. In reality, all these criminals were loaded off the ships into the waters, drowning before they could see land ever again. It's a cover-up for one of the greatest mass murders in history, made by one of the most prominent empires. Australia does not exist. All things you can prove, in quotation marks, are actually well-fabricated lies and documents made by the leading governments of the world. Your Australian friends? They're all actors and computer-generated personas, part of the plot to trick the world. If you think you've ever been to Australia, you're terribly wrong. The plane pilots are all in on this, and have in all actuality only flown you to islands close nearby, or in some cases parts of Australia, where they have cleared space and hired actors to act out as real Australians. I closed it on accident. There we go. Australia is one of the biggest hoaxes, that's my cat, ever created, and you have all been tricked. Join the movement today and make it known that they have been deceived. That's the post. What do you think about all that evidence? It's possible.
No way. I am an Australian human. How could this be possible?
Some podcasters I listen to are Australian, so it's a pretty interesting case. I mean, if you want to look.
You know, we have to get to the bottom of this.
We must go to Australia.
Yes, we're gonna.
Right now, let's go on a
right
plane. This is Cannon. We're buying tickets to Australia.
No, we're not buying tickets. We're not buying plane tickets. That's too much money. We're gonna drive there.
Oh, true. And the plane pilots are all in on this.
See, that's why instead of flying there, you gotta drive there yourself.
Yes, you must drive to Australia from Wichita, Kansas, specifically. That is how you debunk how Australia is indeed real. And we can find that. I mean, it also ties in with the flat earth conspiracy, which, I mean, I'm not completely against most conspiracy theories, if I'm being honest. What are your opinions on the flat earth?
Well, I mean, depends on how seriously I want to take this issue today. I mean,
feel free. Let's go into it.
All right. Well,
I'm always open to opinions. Like, I haven't gone in search of videos, but every so often I catch a video, or I happen to see a part of an article, and I'm like, oh,
Shane
alright,
Dawson?
fine. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm neutral. If it exists, cool. That's fine.
Well,
if it doesn't, that's also a thing. I mean, I can still travel around. I can live my life knowing that either is possible, you know? At least in my mind. I know there's plenty of facts to debunk either side. Or opinions that have forged into facts.
Well, so I think this was my senior year of high school, but I printed off like a bunch of papers about this about the Earth being flat at my school, and I hung it up at a couple places, you know. But I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I mean, let's be honest here. The flat Earth, I don't think that's. I
don't think it's plausible, or
I don't think it's plausible. I don't think it's possible. I think I think it's impossible. I don't think it's probable. And together, you and I, we are unstoppable. Make sure to watch Kim Possible. Not
SoundCloud. Link your SoundCloud. Link your SoundCloud, man.
Not the live action though. That's
the live action might be alright.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you can't judge it before it comes out. It's not gonna be the same, of course. Like, there's no way that they can recreate it. But I mean, we can't prove that it's gonna be trash. Like,
I mean,
like Batman versus Superman. People didn't know that was gonna be not as good. I'm not gonna say trash because I don't want to get people on me about that. But because there are big fans on that movie, but there's no proof exactly to say that Kim Possible is going to be.
Well, I mean, I think my criteria is so long as there's a naked mole rat, you know.
It's gonna be CGI.
No, not a CGI mole rat, an actual mole rat. That,
It should be yes. Like actual. Like I almost don't think that they'd do it, but you almost need it to be CGI though, because some of the things that he does in the show you need like a trained mole rat, and like what other movies are they gonna use that for? Like trained monkey, that they have those in like Bounds, like trained dogs like that. They're easy to train, and then you can just have them as a pet. But monkeys and naked mole rats, at least monkeys you can put in like almost any other movie. But naked mole rats, it's like you train it, and then it's like, what do you do?
Unlike the flat Earth, this is something that I totally don't
Yes, conspiracy theories. This is a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, naked mole rats.
I guess theories. Let's go theories.
Right,
theories.
okay.
We'll go into theories.
All right, so
Broaden our audience. Broaden our spectrum for this episode.
So I think naked mole rats are the next step in evolution.
How so?
Okay,
How so,
well, think of it this way. Yeah, naked mole rat, that's 3 words. Naked. In the future, I believe we're going to live in a world where appearance isn't as important, as prominent, that hopefully human evolution goes beyond, you know, this need just for to look good and all that. Now, mole rat, Avogadro's number is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. That's science. That's very sciencey. So you know there's a lot of evidence for this just with that mole alone. And then rat. I've met a lot of rats in my life. Some of them went to my high school. Some of them went to my middle school. Some of them went to my elementary school.
What are your opinions on hairless cats?
Hairless cats.
Do they not mesh with your theory?
Well, I mean, if I recall, there was a National Geographic, like they kind of I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was. I'm trying to remember if it was them or if it was like some other journal, but basically they were like, you know, in 100,000 years from now, like humans are going to be hairless or something. You'll have to fact check me on that, but you know, it kind of ties in. You know, cats, they used to be worshipped in a lot of cultures. I mean, you know, just for reference, like the Egyptian culture. So, you know, I think there's a lot of promise in the, you know, hairless cats, naked mole rats being the next step in evolution.
Now, I must ask you sincerely about this question. Do you like the movies Cats and Dogs? And there was the second one, which was The Revenge of something or other.
I don't think I've seen that movie before.
Neither of them?
No, I've seen
people have compared the poster to Captain America: Civil War. Pretty great.
I've seen
it's cats and dogs, and then the second one was Revenge of the Cat. That was the bad guy in the first one.
I've seen G-Force, which is basically a movie about guinea hamsters. Wait, hold on.
Guinea hamsters.
Wait, hold on, what?
Yes.
Guinea pigs and hamsters. I think guinea pigs and hamsters.
There were guinea pigs. There was a mole. I know that.
Was it Nick and Morat? Or?
No, it was a mole,
darn.
like an actual mole. I remember. Who was the mole? Surprisingly enough.
Conspiracy.
Moles. Governments. What's another one? I mean, we never really definitively said anything about Flat Earth. I mean, I guess you did. I said I'm open to whatever. I don't know about very many others, I'll be honest. Trying to think. I remember one thing was that a lot of posters look the same, which isn't really a theory, it's really true. Because I think that they more or less form posters, and then they're like, someone will see this poster and think of the other movie that has a poster like this that's kind of formatted the same, and they'll be like, oh, that reminds me of that movie. I want to go see that. So, I don't really think that's a theory. I think that's
Are you
just
talking
the
about,
truth.
the Berenstain Bears and the Berenstain
No,
Bears,
that's a separate one.
Okay.
I'm talking about how, let me see. Posters look the same. Conspiracy. Let me see. Whoa, I'm gonna need to save this. Put that up. Look. All these posters that just have a guy with the back to the poster.
Well, I don't think that's really a conspiracy. It's just...
Yeah, it was said like that. Like there's a lot of that happening, and when people notice it, they're like, oh, conspiracy theory.
Well, man.
Oh, I guess like, this one with the couples facing the backs, that's not the best image, so I may not...
that's just
and like...
Seems like a movie trope,
Yeah, that's more of a trope. More of a theory is the... What's it called? Mandela effect.
Yep.
I don't like taking hard stances, I'll be honest. I like appearing as open as I am, but because I'm very open to like other people's opinions, but I have to say I believe in the Mandela effect to some extent. Some people have described it as you just forget something and then it's like, oh, it's a conspiracy because I forgot it and a lot of people did forget it too, so we must be in a parallel dimension. I don't exactly agree with the parallel dimension part of it, but I do believe that in some way some things have changed slightly. I'll say in one specific example, I remember the store O'Reilly. I remember there being an apostrophe S at the end. Like, it's little things, but I remember it's specifically saying O'Reilly's. And every time I see an O'Reilly poster, or like, not poster, but commercial, or I see it driving down the road, I'm like, that doesn't look right. There's supposed to be an apostrophe S. Which, I mean, could just be my stupid head, but I think that's a local thing. It might not be, but that's one thing that I remember seeing and thinking, wow, that's like the Mandela effect.
I'm an AutoZone person, first of all, so no, I'm kidding about that.
I haven't gone to one, so I don't really care either way.
But there's I'm trying to remember, psychologists, they actually have an explanation for this, and I think it's called a confabulation. So it's kind of like the deja vu, where like you kind of feel like you've been there before. Like you recognize it, but at the same time you don't. So it's not like a matter of parallel dimensions or whatever. You know, it's just basically like your mind, you know, playing tricks on you and whatnot.
I can definitely see that. Like movie quotes. Some people have said that was a Mandela effect, and I could definitely tell that. Like, there was one maybe like a year ago. I forget what that was, but a lot of people quote Star Wars, with it being like, Luke, I am your father, but the quote is just like, I'm your father or something like that. So, like,
yeah, let's search
so
it out
a lot
right
of
now.
people like remember it one way, but not quite the other.
Yeah, I'm gonna search it up right now.
I remember there was a recent one. That's some good research, Knock. Are we gonna have that every episode?
Wait, that was in the last episode?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
We started talking about how we send videos to each other, and we brought that up.
Well, it'll be a trend, it seems.
Please no. I bet everyone is like, no, please. So do you think like, so you think that like it's an actual thing that happens, not necessarily like parallel dimensions crashing or something like that, but you more or less believe in the Mandela effect?
I mean, I wouldn't.
Like,
I mean, I just.
or just know that some people remember things one way when it's actually another.
I mean, I would just say that it's I mean, a lot of it, you know, can be explained with science. I think that's
A lot of conspiracies are
my
like
thing.
that.
But,
Like the flat Earth that we begin with. We didn't really talk about much conspiracy theories. We're almost running out of time. But like,
I mean, we could keep this going.
I kind of want to record another episode, but but I mean, I don't really know much about other conspiracy theories
Kennedy.
to explain about, but
I mean, do you remember in history class in Mr. Martin's where we had to write that essay about like what potentially caused the what potentially caused Kennedy's assassination? You remember that, or?
I think so.
I mean,
I don't think I did it.
We watched that. Let's see. There was a.
I might have not been there one day or
I
another.
mean, you went there a lot of times. But
Yeah, weirdly. I don't think I specifically skipped his class, but sometimes I just not go.
Got a bust. But I mean, one of them was like the Soviets were responsible for it. Another one was like the mafia, and then another one was like the Vatican City.
Or like one of the X-Men movies, Magneto was in jail because they thought he was trying to kill Kennedy, but he curved the bullet so that way he could not get shot because he was a mutant.
Hey, I think that's proof that there are mutants in this universe.
I mean, it curved. It might have been Magneto. Who knows? Or someone who equates Magneto. I know there are like mutations that happen. Like someone's born with an extra toe. Someone's born with magnetic powers. Or it might not be super strong. Like oh wow, this might be a conspiracy theory.
Holy shit.
It could be that people are born with those extra abilities, but they're just weak enough that maybe they don't notice, and maybe someone saw like last minute that the bullet was coming, and so they were like, no, and they tried to grab it, and it curved.
Oh.
That's like the stupidest conspiracy theory. Everyone, post it everywhere. We need this everywhere.
Yeah, Nick.
Debunk my theory.
Nick, you stumbled onto some very deep state. I mean,
this is where he tries to assassinate me and reveals he's a part of the CIA. Please be careful. My address is...